Hog and I are here to let you all know about a new announcement we have regarding the format of the show.
Yeah, we had a meeting this last Sunday, and it's becoming more and more frequent that one of us has to miss a show. So we discussed about like maybe cutting it down to 30 minutes, which that'll be easier. That way we're not beating dead horses by the minute 45. If it runs long, it runs long, but if not, it doesn't. 30 minutes is going to be our actual scheduled time. Also, me and Pete weren't going to be able to be there tonight, so that was going to leave it really awkward for one person to get on there and try to fill up an hour. So we're going to start pre-recording on Sundays and Wednesdays, and then every third
Wednesday, yep.
Third Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, the normal time, we're going to go live, all of us. And that one will probably usually run a little bit long, but that's our plan. That way, if it gets to where we're just getting long-winded, it'll alleviate some of that just like dead air where we're trying to figure out something to say.
The ums and ahs, or when we say, ha ha ha,
Correct.
Yeah, so we're going to start pre-recording 30-minute episodes, and every third Wednesday we will be back here live to interact with all of our fans, our super fans. Welcome to another episode of Altitude and Attitude, the unfiltered podcast where stories collide with truth, humor, and a little chaos. Buckle up. Hog, have you seen this piece of fucking information? The Florida Surgeon General, Joseph, whatever the hell his last name is, I can't even pronounce it, Ladapo, is moving to end all vaccines mandate. They're going to end all mandatory vaccines for children, for people, period. Because apparently vaccines are just the same as slavery.
Well, I don't understand that comparison at all, but that's really bad news for everybody. I personally like you've been battling with a disease that
it was almost eradicated.
But you've got parents out there like people like me and my wife and even my ex-wife. We have a son that is severely asthmatic, and if he was to get something like whooping cough like you're dealing with right now, along with many other things, we're talking about a person who would be possibly devastatingly affected by this, which is going to affect our whole family if something bad was to happen to him. So, I mean, I don't understand how. I just want people to understand that is an extremely selfish move.
Absolutely. Selfish. And I hear people say, well, why do we have to get vaccines for these things? Because they don't exist. Well, that's exactly why you have to get them. They don't exist because we've been getting vaccines. You dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah. It's like the reason that it doesn't exist anymore is because we got rid of it. We did
here's the other one. The other argument is, well, we should have a choice. Well, what choice are you giving me? What choice did I get about whooping cough? I took the vaccine, so I wouldn't get it. But I'm surrounded by so many people that don't take the vaccine that it doesn't matter. So where's my choice? Where is the social responsibility that we all have to take care of one another?
Okay, this is the kind of thing that aggravates the ever-living shit out of me. So these people that need this choice, don't want women to have a choice about what they do, about something that would only affect themselves or their family.
Well, I'm going to throw something at you real quick if I could.
Go for it.
I don't see this as a political thing, and I'll tell you why. I see plenty of liberals who want to have the choice. Absolutely. And a lot of these MAGA cultists who want to have the choice.
And I totally agree with that. But I said a lot of these people, not all, but a lot of these people, it's like, Okay, well, you don't want everybody doesn't have a choice about everything, but like if it affects only the person that's doing it, like if I tattoo myself, that affects nobody but myself.
Right.
There shouldn't be a law that gets rid of that. But when it comes to the public safety of other people, like I don't understand how you can possibly justify just we have the technology. Okay, even if you are a religious person who believes that you can pray this disease away, what I mean, God probably made if based off of your belief system,
Right.
God uh, allowed this doctor to have the common sense and brains to come up with this to help out people with these different
Right.
ailments.
Right.
And I don't understand how you can use uh, uh, religion to justify your selfish desires to not well, basically your selfish desire to be uneducated.
Right. But this is really about, like you said, the choice. This is about social responsibility. Like you said, not everybody, we don't all get a choice in every single thing that happens. We don't. And this is one of those, because we all have a social responsibility to take care of ourselves so that when we go out in public, we don't infect the rest of the public. When you're sick, you stay home. Or when I don't know, dude. Everybody wants to fucking blame the Chinese on COVID. They let it get out. All of you numbnuts who are blaming China, saying that China let out this disease, you're the ones who are screaming that we shouldn't be taking vaccines. You're the ones who are getting all these mandates shut down, not wearing your mask. So you're no better than the people that you're blaming.
And who cares? I mean, not that we shouldn't care, but who cares? At this point, it exists now. So we need to deal with it. We're trying to vaccinate our way out of needing to be worried about it. Okay, so China's to blame. Let's deal with that politically.
Right.
But the cat's out of the bag now. What is that saying? You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube now. It's already it exists now. So okay, cool. If it's China's problem, if they started it, then let's deal with that politically the way that it's supposed to be done. Sanctions and whatever,
right. But see,
or new regulations. But it exists now, so now we need to take care of the fact that we don't need to let this get to our vulnerable. Like, right. I can probably live through it. You can probably live through this and like COVID or whooping cough or whatnot. But you have people like my son who's severely asthmatic, and this would affect him way more drastically than the average person, the average healthy person.
Right.
When my wife and millions of other people, I might add, are going through cancer treatment, their immune system,
they have no immune system,
extremely compromised. Yeah. And when she was going through that during COVID, I wouldn't let you come into my house without proving. I don't care how much I loved the person, without proving that you were vaccinated. I was like a freaking germ Nazi. It was insane because this is my wife's life that we are talking about. I don't care what your personal understanding of whatever is. You're not coming around her when she's already battling something that could kill her, very possibly, and not unlikely. And so we want to add to an already horrible disease of cancer. We want to add COVID on top of that while her immune system's gone. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I'm reading this, a couple of stories related to this. By the way,
I'm sorry I went on that.
Fuck you, Florida. That's all I'm going to say. Fuck you, Florida.
Well, I'm going to say not all of Florida. I'm going to say
no. The state of Florida. The state of Florida. The state of Florida elected that piece of shit down there, DeSantis, and DeSantis put this guy in office. And this guy, by the way, was found to have doctored and lied about COVID his COVID
That was before
results
he even
in
got
fucking Florida.
before he even got
And
confirmed.
and now that son of a
appointed.
bitch is running the healthcare system down there. So the people in Florida, pull your heads out of your asses,
Okay.
or stay the fuck out of our state.
And I totally get that sentiment, but I can guarantee you, because I know for a fact that there are people that live in Florida, just like I live in Mississippi, and a lot of people live, yes, you're right. The rural areas and the way that the gerrymandering happens and all the other different things, and that's completely off topic. But it's the politicians that move these lines and do
I'm going to blame the people. I'm always going. I'm always going to blame.
You're always going to blame the people, but I want
always
people,
going to.
I also want people to understand that we do understand that there are people that they had people vote against them, probably close to 50%. It just wasn't enough,
right?
I mean, so. I would blame that side of the people. Yes,
they get what they deserve. They get what they deserve. Just keep your sick ass in Florida. Keep your ass in Florida. I think it would be awesome to see other states forbid Floridians from coming to their state without showing a vaccination.
Well, I
would love that.
Certain
I would
ones,
love that.
They already do that. I mean, I know during COVID.
No, I mean now. You don't have your tetanus shot.
Well,
you can't come to Arizona.
But the thing is, Pete, that's going to naturally happen.
It needs to.
If smallpox, because of Texas and other red states, starts becoming a thing again, then you're going to have states doing just like cities were doing during COVID. Even in red states, you couldn't get into a building without proving that you were vaccinated.
Right.
Because why? Because this is no longer a right. This is a privilege, but we can't let you in this building unless we can keep the crowd safe.
So let me ask you this question, Hog. Do you remember what president it was that pushed during his administration to get those 2 COVID vaccines out?
But no, that was Trump.
Yeah, that was Donald Trump, wasn't it?
Operation Warp Speed. He was proud of it.
Yeah,
and should have been.
Yeah, I mean, it saved lives.
I think that is big of and he is whether I like it or not, he's a marketing genius. When it comes to whether it's marketing controversy or not, he does a lot of that. But he knows what's going to get people talking. He just does. Right. Whether in his mind, if you're outraged, it's good for him. If you agree with him, it's good for him. So
I have a reason. I have a reason for asking you.
I think the name was a big part of the problem because it was called Operation Warp Speed, which gave people the false understanding that this was something that happened overnight, and it didn't. This is years upon years upon years upon years of research of COVID viruses. And I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you the things that I've read. It didn't just happen when he made that. It's been around. The research is old. It was the vaccine that was new and happened fast.
Right.
The new vaccine.
So I have a reason for asking you that. So Donald Trump is the one that pushed it, that said, we're going to get all the red tape out of the way. We're going to get it out to people because it works. He even took the vaccine, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Monday, Donald Trump suggested on Truth Social or Pedophile Social, whatever it's called now, that Pfizer and other drug makers have to prove now they have to prove that the COVID vaccines were effective.
The fact that we're out and about, walking around and being able to hug our loved ones again, that's pretty.
And didn't he approve it already? Didn't he already give the blessing for them to go ahead and give it out?
Yes, but one thing that we know about this person, especially,
And these assholes who are supporting this whole vaccine fight bullshit, who are following behind him, and people like RFK and those psychos down in fucking Florida. Yeah, you understand. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That was on my mind to say way back when you were talking about this idiot surgeon general in Florida. Is like, well, I mean, look at our actual surgeon general for the country. I mean, the guy's not even a doctor, for God's sakes. I mean, and he was a heroin addict. Like, that'd be like
He's a goddamn idiot, is what he is.
That would be like giving William S. Burroughs a freaking
well, you've got a felon. You've got a felon. You got a felon running the White House.
I know that.
Yeah. So I mean, who cares? And by the way, more than 1,000 former HHS employees, former and current, have signed a letter calling on RFK to resign. I mean, we know he won't. We know he won't because he's got pedophile up in the White House who's going to protect him. Yeah. But how can people not see this? How are we not seeing more outrage?
And I'll circle around to the thing that I can personally tell you is that when you are in a cult, you do not realize that you are in a cult. Then you believe everything that the dear leader or minister or whomever is the figurehead, you believe everything that they say. And it isn't until their demise that people start going like, oh, I thought that when, he died, it would be like the second coming of Christ.
Thought we would be on the Hail Bop comment as it went by. Sorry, you weren't. You weren't. And then drink the Kool-Aid, fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was Jim Jones, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's like you get to a point like he did where it's like, I can't probably keep this up. I'm going to have to kill all these people, but I'm going to have to get them to do it themselves.
Yeah, which he did. I mean, God,
which he was planning on killing himself, I'd imagine, anyways, right? I mean,
you're right. I keep forgetting that this is a cult. I really do. That we have the cult leader up there.
If you don't like being called in a cult, then don't have cultish behavior. Because you can ask real doctors that actually don't have political freaking ambitions.
Right.
Like doctors, that mental health experts, and every one of them will tell you that this weird following that is all of a sudden like completely normalized is not normal at all. It is not normal. I've never seen a Bill Clinton flag or a George Bush flag or a Dick Cheney flag. I've never seen any Ronald Reagan flag. I've never seen any of that. I've never gotten in an argument with, back in the day, I've gotten in plenty of debates and arguments about the Bush administration or the Clinton administration or any of them. But none of them were to the point where, like, I hate you forever now. I'm deleting you from my life because you talked about the dear leader that I love. I've never seen that amount of loyalty to anybody. So now it's like, if he says something and he understands that, I know he does, and he's trying really hard to distract everybody from the fact that he's a pedophile, at least pedophile protector. He's doing everything in this toolbox that he can possibly do, and the shit will just not go away. Because one thing, even a cult member ends up in the end, unless you are involved in it, every actual decent human being is going to draw the line at children.
Right.
They can go off into any kind of weird anti-vax or let's live in the woods and not rely on the government for anything, any kind of weird anything. But when it comes to the sanctity and safety of a child, it's when even the nuttiest of the nutty are like, oh, you know what? I'm out. I can't be a part of this anymore.
Right.
And if you watch anything, and you can watch documentaries, read about the different cults. If you find one that has sexual abuse in it, that's generally when people find out about that. That's generally the deconstruction process of that cult is people start, oh, my kid? You know what I mean? It's like
Right. Right.
once they realize
Once
that,
it happens to them.
yes,
Yeah.
oh, we've been lied to this whole time. The wool's
Mm-hmm.
been over our eyes, and they haven't been protecting our children. They have been. That's when you start seeing this cult unravel. It's not going to be vaccines. It's not going to be anything else.
Right.
That just isn't it what it is. And I didn't mean to change that subject, but
Well, I got to tell you, it looks like to me, the more I watch the news and the more I hear about things happening in this country, it really seems to me like the West Coast is the only part of this nation, well, not the only, but a good part of this country that has their shit together. Because I just saw another story that said that Oregon, Washington, and California are going to form an alliance to protect vaccines.
as they should.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
you know
and
what
I
I would,
think and I think as many states as possible need to jump on board with this to
Mhm.
say, hey, we know we've got a psycho who's leading HHS right now, but we are not going to follow what those dumbasses in Florida are doing. We
Yeah.
need to hear more about this because right now it's up in the air. I'm in a blue state and I feel fairly confident that Katie
Barely blue.
Hobbs barely blue, barely. I have a little bit of confidence that our governor won't allow this to happen, even though she's pretty fucking shady. But places like Mississippi, Arkansas, especially Texas, you know, I fear that this is just around the corner for you guys. I really do.
Well, and the part that is maddening is that, well, actually, it's not maddening.
John Maddening.
You're gonna see it happen. Is that these states that join and like say it's starting right now, or what did I say? Or what did you say? Oregon, Washington, California.
Yep.
They're gonna start these same rules as they did during COVID, where you can't get into our state unless you can prove your vaccination status. Period. That's
Right.
the end of the discussion. That means
Right.
you're not flying in. That means you're
Not
if you get
driving.
here,
Yeah.
you're gonna. And then next thing you know, you're gonna have Hawaii joining this alliance, and New York and all the other areas. Hopefully, red states too that have some common sense about medical fact.
Right.
Join it as well. I'm not trying to say that no red state they're all as crazy as DeSantis. They're not, but I mean,
DeSantis, dude, that dude
Mississippi's
is
governor is. I
psycho.
mean, he's nutty enough to do that, but he also understands that he's not super popular and he needs to be real careful. But
Yeah.
what he
Yeah.
does. I don't know if he understands that or not, but I can't stand that son of a bitch. We call him Tater Tot.
Oh, that's what I hear you guys always talking about. Tater tot.
Yeah,
All right.
that'd be the Tater.
All right. I
Tate
see.
Reeves.
I see these things happening, man. I see ICE out with their faces covered, arresting U.S. citizens, raiding churches, and arresting children. I see the National Guard and federal troops marching through the streets of D.C. And now we've got this vaccine. Oh, and we've got Texas. Let's not forget about Texas, who want to completely destroy the Democratic Party, the Democrat Party in their own state for dear leader. And now we've got Florida. We've got Florida who's literally trying to infect the entire country with disease. I don't understand where logic and reason, or when logic and reason disappeared from this fucking country.
And-
I don't get it.
And Pete, like you were talking earlier about they want to have choice. Well, here's the thing: in the state that I live in, for right now, until dear leader says something weird on True Social, but as of right now, if you want to not vaccinate your kids, you do have that choice. They're
Right.
not allowed to go to public school,
Bingo.
but and infect my children, but they don't have to. They have to homeschool them.
Yes.
So if you think that that's the if you want to stay at home and teach your children
By all
how to
means.
how to do things, and you know what, I used to be I was homeschooled, so I have always been 100% against homeschooling unless the parent or person teaching the children was qualified to do so.
Yeah, I always
However,
question that.
as I've aged a bit and realized that not due to any fault of the teachers necessarily, but it's the education system within a state and becoming the country. There are people like, honestly, I probably did get a better education because my mom cared about whether I was learning or not. Now, there were some things that
Yeah.
that I was lacking, a lot of. And I'm not saying that I did back then get a better one. I'm saying as of right now, had I grown up now.
Mhm.
I mean, there's states that and we are not excluded. I think we're in the top 20 of the worst education states. Luckily,
Yeah.
I live on the Gulf Coast, where at least we're the best of that. And we have some of the better schools in the country as well. In this part, of course, this is the most forward progressive area in the deep red state that you can live. But anyways, when it comes to homeschooling, if that's what you want to do with you don't have any free time. My mother was busy with us all the time. Like,
Right.
you're teaching 4 different grades at one time. That's as with a high school diploma. And I never have I don't really publicly give my mom nearly enough credit as she deserves, because that's insane. You are gonna have to relearn I try to help my kids with their homework, and I'm an idiot. I don't understand how they're teaching now, because they've changed things, and I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, take that with a grain of salt. I'm just saying that it's not that you don't have a choice. You do have a choice. It's just that you don't want the choice that you got. You want to be able to ship your kid off to school, infect
Sick.
the entire school
Sick.
with
Yeah.
disease, but still hold your nutty fucking belief about the vaccine program causing I don't know what, like
Yeah.
autism, which is dumb. That's been
Oh my
proven
God,
to be
that's
wrong so many times.
so
I-
ridiculous that anybody would even think that that's still legitimate.
Yeah, I know. It's been debunked so many times that it's just it's exhausting to try and
You know
listen.
what? Where people are getting this information not only from RFK, anyway, but they're also getting it from all of these YouTube commercials that are literally AI generated, saying, "Did you know that doing this causes cancer, but doing that causes your testicles to fall off?" And it's always something stupid. I heard one the other day that water is bad for you. I heard one. We are drinking too much water. We are drinking too much water. The only way that I know that water is bad for you is when you're underneath of it and you're
Well,
trying to breathe. Other than that,
yeah, but just like anything, and this has nothing to do with. I'm not, but please don't think that I'm trying to jump on that. I just want
this is birds are real, hog.
I do drink a lot of water, and because of um like it will make it to where you don't have enough of the good sometimes. Like if I'm out working in the heat, like I do a lot of, there isn't an amount of water that's going to be too much, because I'm sweating it out. It literally, as soon as I drink it, it's like in out.
Right, but
You-
the
that-
majority of this country is already dehydrated.
yeah, but if
Yeah.
you're exactly correct.
But if you're drinking a gallon of water an hour or
that's
an
yeah,
hour,
that would be,
that's excessive.
I drink
That
that
is
about I drink
excessive.
about that a day.
Yeah.
Unless if I'm sitting in the AC, probably not. But when I'm out there, dude, there's just no way around it.
Yeah.
You have to. And you need more than the water. You need to put some stuff in it every once in a while, but to make sure that you're replenishing some of the stuff.
But there's so many things, dude.
But
Water's bad for you. Everybody blames everything on gluten or sugar or
yeah,
it's ridiculous. I even had somebody the other day who came to me and said, eating rice is bad for you because it has cyanide in it or something. I said, trace amounts.
yeah,
Trace amounts, dude. You would have to eat the equivalent of China to feel the effects of the amount of cyanide that's in it.
Can I just
It's
say something really?
ridiculous.
I know we're getting to the end, but I just want to say that a lot of this comes down, and I know me and you at least have talked about. I think the three of us have talked about this before. Is that a lot of this nonsense used to just die from the idiot that came about the idea.
Right.
Like the idiot, the people like RFK. This idiot comes up with this idea, but it takes 3 weeks to get an article put in, all this other stuff. And with the rise of social media, the 24-hour news cycle,
Yep.
and all that just bullshit that's available to us, and trust me, I get in these debates or arguments, whatever you want to call them, on Facebook all the time. It's like, dude, literally what you are telling me is easily, provably wrong.
Bullshit. Yeah. Yeah.
And you are not even trying. The fact that you aren't even a grown ass man or woman is not even attempting to try.
Right.
And find out the bullshit that they're spewing is accurate and correct or not.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Absolutely mind-boggling to me.
They read a headline and they say, "Oh, that's it. That's what must be happening."
I get so embarrassed or feel bad when I post something and then somebody fact checks it and it turns out it's complete bullshit. I mean, I don't do it often, but I try not, unless I'm just talking shit about football or something. But or just making jokes, that kind of stuff. Obviously, those aren't all accurate, but when it's so easy to, especially nowadays, because of all this 24-hour and social media and all the different, we don't have to pull out an encyclopedia anymore. You can literally just look it up from reputable places that they've already done the research for you. It's not rocket science.
Right.
I mean, I didn't have to read that big beautiful bill for the most part, because
it's all about
other
education.
People had already done it, but I did because I wanted to read it for myself.
And this is why I constantly go back to the people and blame them, because every single one of us, I don't care who you voted for. You could have voted for Harris, or you could have voted for Trump. It doesn't matter to me. None of us are doing the fucking work that we need to be doing to keep ourselves educated and to keep moving in the right direction. Yeah, some of us are doing better than others, but for the most part, we're all failing. Because if we were all doing our part, shit like Texas wouldn't be happening. These assholes in Florida wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't have a cult that's running this country anymore. We wouldn't have this kind of stuff happening if we were taking the time to do the work and educate ourselves. But we don't.
What do you think that the fascination is? And I don't even know the answer to this. And what is the fascination behind needing desperately someone to follow? Why do people need that so bad that they are willing to just give up all common sense and all self-respect? I mean, I've watched these people, the politicians, and regular people that I know what their stances were because it's on video what you thought about it 10 years ago or 12 years ago. That what is the fascination that a person can come out and literally just nothing that he says is
Well,
going
I'll
to
tell
make you
you.
go, that's against what I believe.
Right. I'll tell you what I think it is, and it's and I hate to sound like a MAGA cultist right now, but
I would.
if we go back in history and we look at our grandparents or our great grandparents, you couldn't tell them they were wrong. You couldn't tell them that they were bad people. In fact, they never came to you to ask, what do you think about me? They weren't looking for validation. They knew who they were, they knew what they did, and that's just the way it was. Our parents were the same way for the most part. Our problem today is everybody's so fucking needy. Not one of us has enough confidence in who we are to not ask, to not have somebody that we believe is not necessarily a better person, but somebody who is superior to us in some way, whether a boss or a
By belief
parent or
only.
something. Right. By
Yeah,
belief only.
they're
Right.
better than you
And
by belief only.
we're asking, I need you to tell me that I'm good. I need you to tell me that I'm doing things that are right.
I
Instead
need
of
you to
having
justify my prejudices.
and we love, I see this new Dodge commercial that is the most irritating fucking thing I've ever seen. It says the one thing that Americans can't stop doing is just being Americans, and we're tough and we're Americans and keep being American. And it's the half of the commercial or 90% of the commercial is just the fucking American flag, with this much of it being the truck on the screen, right? So this commercial has nothing to do with the people in this country today, because we like to say we're American. Can we please be American? Is that okay? Will you, dear leader, will you tell us that we're being good Americans? That's
And,
the problem. There's no confidence in who we are.
and these people don't even understand what, what, this is a subject for another time.
It's really tough, to try to navigate through all of this bullshit that's happening in the country right now. And
It is.
one day we will have some sanity back in the White House, and maybe, just maybe, this country can get its shit together.
Yes. Agreed.
All right.
It's depressing watching what's going on right now.
Well, we'll see if we can fix it on the next episode. What do you say?
We will.
All right, brother.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Altitude and Attitude. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you again tomorrow for another episode. Remember, if you're not pissed off, you're not listening.